right, so we are back with Lisa Waterslane. She comes in each week with your garden questions. Just what are neighbors talking about? What are they seeing? What's in bloom? And there's some value to that. So welcome to the studio, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Always good to be back.
Seems like the microscope on the side patio is like in constant motion. First thing in the morning, baggies from all over the county are coming in and going, what's this? Is it dangerous? I'm like, yes! What are you talking about? It'll kill your tree, your blood. Anyway.
I appreciate the fact that they're bringing them in baggies. Otherwise, it's like, no, don't come in the store with that. But lots of aphids. And the funny thing about aphids is everybody expects them to be like a green color.
Yeah.
They just think they cannot be any color. Well, they can be black, orange, you name it. They can be a different color. So don't
whatever they're
assume.
sucking on. Actually, insects are brilliant. I mean, you get cutworms and budworms and all kinds of stuff. They'll change color to match their environment. They're like an octopus or just they change like a camellia. They're like changing their color to match your environment. And that's why they're hard to see sometimes. But when you blow them up 1,000 times under a microscope,
That's scary.
whoa, it's freaky. 8 eyes, 4 fangs,
Right.
10 legs, nine legs. No,
And sometimes you see them in their different life cycles. So
Yeah.
sometimes the aphids have wings, sometimes they don't. Some they just look like a little round thing, but it's all aphids.
Did you know that aphids are the only insect that this
Yes.
gardener's aware of that gives live birth?
They're asexual.
Yeah. Well, what does that mean?
I mean, they don't need a partner
Oh, they do it by themselves.
to make little baby aphids.
Yeah, they just kind of keep
yeah.
on going, male, female. That's why they get out of hand.
And then they give live
immediately.
birth.
Yeah,
So they don't need a partner, and they just give live birth.
yeah. Life is good if
Wow.
you're an aphid, and they suck on your apples, your roses, your flowers, your kale,
Peaches,
chard.
pears.
Yeah, they like
love
eating
fruit.
stuff, and they like cool, long springs. So that's why they're going so bad.
Yeah. But yeah, keep an eye out for them because they are out there.
Garden questions? Are there anything good besides aphids?
Besides aphids.
We've already covered them. Actually, we didn't cover how to kill them. You should kill them with triple action. There you go. We've got it here at the store. Organic, safe, doesn't hurt hummingbirds, not going to hurt your, I don't know, doesn't eat your fingernails off.
Right.
It's good stuff.
Okay. Well, Paula has kind of a similar but not the same problem. But she's noticed white powdery stuff all over her roses. It wipes off. She wants to know what it is and best way to treat it.
So that is powdery mildew. And again, this is where it's really important to prune correctly. So open things up so the air can get through, the sun can get in because it opens it up because spores or bacteria or diseases love to fester in warm, dark, dank, moist places. And so it just grows. And this is a bacteria that's eating the sugars within the leaf of that plant.
Right.
And it grows. It just keeps growing over and creating this white buildup. And if you don't do anything, it can actually kill the plant or make it look terrible. It's hard to control, but there's a great organic out. This is pretty new science. It's called Revitalize. And so you spray the foliage until it's dripping wet, and then repeat it in about 2 weeks, and actually permeates inside the cells of that foliage and helps the plant become strong enough to repel this thing by itself. So it's very safe, again, organic, kind of like triple action, and just does a great job. But I would get on it, because if you don't, it will just get worse and worse. And as we get close to the monsoons, it almost blossoms, and the entire plant will be white.
Oh, not good.
Not good. It stops blooming. It stops growing. It's a terrible, terrible
And
death.
you know what I'm seeing? We should probably cover it. It wasn't a question, but I'm seeing it a lot in the store. Speaking of Revitalize, is fire blight.
Oh, I agree. Where did that come from? What is that?
No, it's bad this year. But
So-
you might give a quick description what that is.
Yeah, so fire blight, we're seeing it on, it really focuses in on pears, ornamental pears and fruiting pears, any kind of pear family, and pyracantha. Mainly those two we see the most samples of. And what will happen is that new growth that was happening at the very tip will start to turn black. And it starts to fade back black. And that stem, that branch will start to die back. You're going, what's going on? It looks like someone took a Bic lighter to it, burned it off, and it stops growing. The leaves shrivel up, drop, and it just it can kill the tree. The bacteria eats underneath the bark, actually. And so it starts to feed on the sugar underneath the bark on that tree. So it eats the tree alive. What to do for revitalize helps with that as well. You can prune your way out of it a little bit. Make sure the plant is watered and fed. It's got to be healthy, and it can, if you don't get on it, it can actually kill the tree. This is one you really want to come in and talk to us and get some expert advice before it takes down that tree. But long, cool springs, that's what causes bug issues, small bugs, thrip and aphids, and blight, and powdery mildew, and shot hole, and leaf spot, and leaf curl, and all these other things.
There's been a
Long,
lot
cool.
out.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's scary out there sometimes. Well, Liz would like to know, she put her tomatoes and peppers into pots. The edges of the leaves are turning brown and kind of curling. Wants to know, is it a watering? Is it a disease? Can you tell?
So, yes, it could be all those. So it could be simply you have too much manure in the soil. So most likely it's watering. That's the number one. Probably 90% of all garden problems are water. Too much or too little.
Right.
Curling and yellow leaves are typically over-watering, whether it's a tomato, a tree, a shrub, whatever. And then drying tips and curling or samples like that are typically under-watering. So deeper soak and then let it dry out, because if you're pushing that water down deeper, well, it's going to take longer for it to dry out. So you've got this whole root mass completely saturated. So maybe go an extra day or maybe keep the same cycle you're at, whatever that is, and just water an extra gallon. So we push that water down further into the soil, and that'll probably help out.
Right.
Again, if you bring a sample, we can do a lot with a sample and tell you, is it a disease? What should we do? Is it just something as simple as a little bit more water makes it all go? I would say if it's towards the bottom of the plant, prune off the leaves, because tomatoes, they want to get disease. They want to die. And so just anything that looks even remotely bad, peel those off and encourage that top growth to punch up through that tomato cage and just take over the whole garden.
Yeah. Season's young. We got a lot of season ahead of us, so we just need to get those watering problems corrected and get it going.
It's not hot yet. It's not even, we've barely hit 80, so it's going to be 100 here in a month.
It's been windy.
And it has been windy. There you go. There's been thrip and all kinds of stuff.
So, things are a little suffering a little bit. Well, we do have another question from Tom. He lives out Williamson Valley Road, has a large piece of property out there, talking about the junipers again.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of native juniper death.
Okay.
And the basic question is there anything you can do, or do you just kiss them goodbye?
Don't kiss them. They'll poke you in the lips. Don't do that. And don't say goodbye. There's hope. So junipers don't want to die. They're so robust. They've been alive for a lot of years, but they've been through several of these drought cycles. They know what to do. Oaks, they know what to do. They're ancient. And so what I would do is fertilize them. Take that all-purpose plant food. Just sprinkle it out underneath the drip line, those outer branches. And then deep soak it. Take a fan sprayer. Take a soaker hose. Just let it run for a couple hours. Just deep soak it. And my prediction is you're going to have new leaf buds or needle buds poking through the bark. And by a month and a half from now, it'll look like a brand new tree.
So how often should they water?
So, that is a good question. So don't overdo it, because you can kill a juniper just as fast as you can make them alive. Yeah. I would say one good soak a month until the monsoon rains come. And I predict it looks like, New Orleans is just getting slammed. There's huge volumes of water going through that. And that band will continue. And it'll just work its way west until it finally gets to us in a month, 4 or 6 weeks, and then the monsoons hit. So it looks like it'll be a wet pattern. It's early to tell, but it feels good in my gut by watching lots of radar pattern. Yeah, I'd make a good weatherman.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, the water once a month, deep soak, fertilize, pray over it, play it Mozart, do all that stuff that gardeners do, and be all good. We are out of time, Lisa. Thank you. So Ken and Lisa Lane and the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back.